I have had many requests to get down to the basics and explain a little bit about my drawing materials. And what I want to discuss here is the usage of the different kinds of hardnesses of the graphite pencils. And I will be discussing 2H, HB, 2B and the 4B. And 2H is ideal for the background and far distances, while as HB is ideal for the midtones. And I will be discussing a way to loosen up your wrist. And of course the 2B is much softer than 2H and HB, as is 4B. So as the numbers get higher, this gets softer. Here I'm drawing in a cubic with the 2H pencil. Now guess the light was coming from the right side, then the left side of the cubic of course gets a little shadow. And if I was to draw the cubic from looking up, then you can also see the top of the cubic. And then this side of the cubic would hit a little bit of light, which is ideal to color in with the 2H. And this cubic is casting a shadow on the ground. And then it would be easy to get a mid-tone for that. So I will be using the HB for the shadow that is casted on the floor next to the cubic. Now the right side of the cubic gets the most shadow. And this side I'm drawing in with the 2B. What you can see now is that there are three gradations of gray. And immediately you get a quite fair 3D effect. Now what if we were to draw the cubic, but then a little bit more difficult? This is a cubic that is hollow and it is on the ground, and guess the light or the sun is coming from the right. Then this side of our cubic, or well, it's kind of a pit, would be in the color 2H, a gradation of course. Then this side of our pit would be quite in the shadow. So this side I would color in with my 2B pencil. Okay. Now then, if that side is in 2B, then the opposite side, which is also in the shadow, would be in 2B too. Now for this side that was in 2H, the other side also would be in 2H. Quite logical. Okay, so the sun is coming from the right and there would be a shadow casted on the floor right next to our cubic. What I will need now is a mid-tone. But I can also choose to go over the 2B with the 4B and get that even darker. So even if you have areas that are colored in with, for instance, 2B, you can always go over that with a softer one. The other way around would not work. Now I have the space to give the shadow colors into HB and 2B. So here I will color in with HB, which is just a little bit darker than the 2H, while here I'm still with the HB, which is a little bit lighter than the 4B. This immediately gives a 3D effect. Now of course you can work out all these basic shapes as far as you want. The cubics that are drawn on top you can make buildings of if you want. And here for our cubic on the ground, I can make a pit with nature stones, for instance, and get in the areas, the spaces between the stones. For instance, here I can use the 2B to get that sharp shadows that are casted between the rocks of our pit. But, well, I hope this all makes sense. So the importance of the different kinds of gradation and color you get, casted with 2H or 4B. Once you have your basic standing, you can always shift a little bit and go over the 2B, or even, as I'm demonstrating here, lighten up the lines where the sun hits the stones the most and make them as light as possible, simply with an eraser. To get a dramatic feel, I can go over the darkest shadows casted in front with the 4B. And of course also you can always press a little bit harder or a little bit lighter if you want gradations to exist. But the natural color of the differences between 2H and HB, 2B, 4B, and even if you want to get darker, there is a 6B and an 8B. You can shift those around. But have your material work for you. Make use of the fact that the 2H is as hard as 2H is, and 6B as soft as 6B, for instance. And here I'm demonstrating a setup for a sea landscape. I tore a piece of paper and then I start out with the 2H for the farthest distance. And this is also an ideal way to loosen up your wrist and to get active lines that are not forged or something. Just use your pencil as light as and easy as possible. And here I'm shifting to the HB for the middle area. So all I'm doing is I draw in the grasses that are growing out of the sand. and I'm still making use of my material, the differences between the 2H, HB, 2B, etc. as far and as long as you want your drawing to be. And you can rub in a little bit and see what the differences are between rubbing in the 2H and rubbing in the 4B, for instance. For the real front, I am using here the 4B, and you can see the different gradations. And what you can also do is use your blender stick and see what the different kind of hardnesses of your pencils do when you rub these out, of course. And well, just play around with it as much as you can and get the feel and the hang of your drawing materials. Here for the front, I'm, for instance, drawing in some leaves. And also this drawing you can work out as far and as exactly as you want. And just keep in mind how to let your material work for you and to get the different kind of feel of the hardnesses and to get a kind of a atmospheric perspective by using the 2H, the HB, the 2B, the 4B, and even work this out further with 6B, 8B, and as far as you want. 9B is the softest, by the way. So, well, work your way around it. I hope you found this helpful. And of course, I also hope to see you soon in one of my other videos. Good luck. See you next time.